Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 5, part 1 of It's All About the CX. Delighted to be joined today by Feargal McDonnell and also John Foley as well. So, look, we closed off our last episode and we did discuss over the next couple of weeks that we will be bringing in different industry experts and vertical leads from Oracle to, I suppose, broaden our conversation, look at kind of macro trends and some micro trends which are also affecting companies, and then I suppose the big one which is Brexit as well, which we'll talk about a bit. I hope you like our new studio. We've gone big, gone large, so. So look, without further ado, we'll kick off into it. So Feargal, look, thank you very much for joining us today. It'd be great if you could just kind of introduce yourself to the rest of the audience. A lot of the guys internally already would know you very well, but just to, I suppose, some of our listeners, the guys who are watching, just to the context around yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. So my name is Feargal. So my title and role, I'm a senior manager within Oracle, and I deal specifically with consumer goods and retail businesses. So we're within our offering, we're responsible for the CX stack, which is everything marketing, sales, and service orientated. Resonates particularly within retailers and consumer goods because they're at the forefront of dealing with consumers. And within our unit, we operate with and deal with businesses within a particular revenue profile. So UKI businesses predominantly with a revenue profile of between 100 and 800 million turnover. So it's an exciting space because those businesses have certain characteristics.
Yeah.
They're usually fast moving themselves. They're usually very agile. But typically, as they're growing through that revenue path of 100 million to 800 million, they're probably experiencing their own growing pains. They probably have invested in technologies or processes or a way of doing businesses that may be kind of hampering their growth at the moment. Maybe they want to grow internationally themselves. Maybe their own efficiency drive, but they usually consult us with helping them accelerate to the next phase of their business growth, which is they're great conversations to have. They're very interesting.
Absolutely, I like the way that you said that. Like they're going through growing pains. I don't think any company is in business not to grow.
Yeah.
I think as some of the questions that I know John is itching to get stuck into, it'll become apparent why these growing pains come around, and I suppose different industry trends as well to kind of understand the potential impacts that they can have within these companies. But I just like the fact that it is exciting. Like they're going through a form of change and growth and expansion, and I suppose it is something to really get excited about.
I'm moving away from spreadsheets to control everything, which is a big deal, big obstacle for a lot of businesses. So I might start off, you mentioned that obviously you focus on the UK and Irish market, which is very relevant to us. So I'll start off with kind of an overview question. So what, in your opinion, is the state of retail and the consumer goods sector?
Okay, I suppose if you have a look at the analysts who are making commentaries on the sector, there's a lot happening. There's a lot evolving, and firstly and foremostly, consumer goods and retail. It's focused and centered around the consumer. So us as consumers, our habits are changing. We're all digital natives now. We expect a very, very high level of service. We expect to be able to order what we want when we want and possibly have it the next day. But all beyond that, we're becoming more demanding, and we almost want something, or we demand or expect something that's relevant to me personally, individually, something that suits me, fits my stage in life, fits my lifestyle, fits my habit. We're always looking for relevance. On top of that, the evolving, I suppose, consumers that are coming into the market, maybe the 20 and 30-year-olds, they're very, very environmentally conscious, so they're looking to purchase or put their money on companies or products or offerings that they think are eco-friendly or sustainable and are healthy in terms of their environmental impact. That has big implications for business in terms of proving their supply, where their supply chain comes from, etc. And we're also interested in health benefits. We're no longer purchasing Coke. We're kind of buying innocent smoothies, because of fresh food, etc. So a lot of health benefits which are coming into the environment. From a macro context, the Western European population is stagnating, so there's no growth through population growth there. There's growth through population growth in further flung geographies. But what that means for UKI businesses is that do they go global, and then there's global supply chain implications. There's also multi-currency, multi-language implications, etc. So even though there is growth in those geographies, there's complexities to their business, and how do they scale their business in order to be able to meet those complexities. Also, in terms of then marketing to the individuals, the consumer goods and retailers need to be able to deliver personalized experiences. So their systems need to be able to segment almost down to the level of the individual to know what their consumers are interested in. Within the Western European market, the analysts are saying that there is growth possible, even though the market is stagnated, but it's possible through the introduction of niche offerings or niche goods that are relevant to individuals, whatever those niche offerings are. And that means businesses need to be agile. They need to be able to rapidly develop product very, very quickly, and have that product available to the market quickly to be able to leverage these niche markets as they grow within their environment, because otherwise they'll just be outpaced by more agile competitors.
I absolutely love the couple of points there as well that you made around the whole digital native generation of buyers and consumers that are coming through. Like myself and John have discussed it in a couple of previous episodes, and I can actually see that becoming more and more relevant in the conversations that we had. And then just around the whole personalization, we're kind of seeing it in trends across the board in the B2B as well as the B2C market, where having the tiny little personalized touches can be the difference between somebody being loyal to a brand and somebody deciding, do you know what, they don't really like me, they don't want my business, and they'll move on.
Yeah.
So actually, you mentioned there how the consumer is changing and how expectations are changing, and then all of a sudden you mentioned like the eco-friendly or eco-conscious consumer as well, and then it kind of gets me to think on the other side of like Forever 21, because I imagine they were their type of consumers. So what do you think the trends were around Forever 21, and perhaps why that wasn't successful?
Yeah, they're a microcosm of a number of those trends in the market. Again, if you look at the analysts, Forever 21 has recently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So the business isn't gone, but they may be needing to restructure, hold off their creditors, and access money and resources in order to be able to exit their Chapter 11 filing as a healthy business that's able to operate profitably in the medium to long term. So what are those factors? Forever 21 was a fast fashion retailer, so very much kind of the cheaper style clothing to the younger consumer, very, very successful and expanded globally.
Yeah, massively.
Now, what is happening now, the analysts have said that they've struggled to differentiate against H&M and Zara. They've also struggled to take their success in bricks and mortar and replicate it online. So they're struggling with that omni-channel kind of online purchase anywhere you want. Also, interestingly, the analysts are saying, not only the scale, not only the inability to execute online, but interestingly, the analysts are saying that they're also having difficulty with consumers who don't see the ethical sourcing within Forever 21. They're not able to prove that the cheap t-shirts or clothing isn't purchased in from maybe inappropriate kind of manufacturing facilities in lower income areas, whereas others such as H&M and Zara are able to improve their supply chain. So as I say, nearly a microcosm of all those global factors, and that's resulting in them having to. So what the understanding of the analysts are saying is that they're having to retrench back globally, back to their original power base around Latin America and Mexico, exit many of the stores that aren't profitable, and kind of reinvent themselves in their connection with their consumers.
With that said, so we can talk about, we're fully aware there's red flags all over the place about the bricks and mortar moving to online. So we have Forever 21, Toys R Us, all these big retailers. Do you think management are changing their mindset of like, all right, we actually need to implement a certain type of software, or we need to take digital as a different channel and actually focus on this and actually put resources behind this? Or what's the kind of mindset in companies now at the moment?
Yeah, I suppose the difference here between retail and consumer goods, the consumer goods are generally B2B, so they sell to the retailers who sell on to the end consumers. Mm-hmm. Now, with consumer goods, that means that traditionally they maybe haven't had an online e-commerce channel.
Right.
Yeah. But those market trends of knowing your customer and staying relevant is that consumer goods, there's a massive trend in consumer goods businesses. It's called DTC, which is direct to consumer. So they need to be able to sell direct to the consumer. So that means that they need to implement a online e-commerce channel. So it's probably the first time they're doing that.
Right.
Or maybe they've only dipped their toe in the water and they need to scale up. Now the implications for those businesses is that online e-commerce channel, in order to be able to make sense, needs to be able to deliver services to their B2B customers and their B2C customers. And that uniquely is a characteristic of the platform they chose. Happens to be a characteristic of Oracle's platform. It is B2B and B2C, but it wouldn't make sense to have two different platforms for two different channels. It's not agile, it's not flexible, it just wouldn't make sense for those businesses. It would hinder their growth. For the B2C retailers, they've had online e-commerce has been a fact of life for many years now, but maybe they're coming into their second evolution of those systems. And the second evolution of those systems is no longer just offering the capability to purchase online, but it's knowing when people come onto their site and they're engaging in browse behaviors, they're engaging in search behaviors, to be able to surface relevant, personalized offerings to those people. Oracle made a recent acquisition in Infinity Streams, which is a kind of a groundbreaking technology. So it knows when I'm, looking for my runners.
Yeah.
I'm searching for them. I'm browsing it. I've put it into a basket, but maybe I'm not executing the purchase. If I'm logged in, it can either surface me an offering on the website or it can send me an email. That's highly relevant to me, and I may purchase. I didn't have the time to do it because I was drinking my coffee and engaged in the chat. I might do it 20 minutes later when I get the email. So one context is almost a must of online e-commerce for B2B and B2C, and the other is accelerating the evolution of online e-commerce to understand customer behaviors.
This is you're hitting the nail on the head with so many topics that myself and John have discussed over the last four weeks. This whole behavioral buying, people abandoning baskets. Like the last couple of weeks, we spent a bit of time focusing around commerce and service and sales and how they can all link and join together, but actually provide companies with better insights in different buying patterns. Like from a digital transformation point of view, when you were talking about companies going through that second cycle, what are the challenges that they potentially should look at if they've already got a commerce solution in play and they think they're thinking, okay, look, this does what I need it to do, but what should they be maybe considering, if to take them to that next step so that they don't become a Forever 21, or and that they stay relevant with their consumers.
I suppose the ability to be able to communicate and offer relevant offerings to your consumers is no longer just a function of the online e-commerce stores.
Yeah.
In isolation, it's an entire communication, ecosystem.
Yeah.
So, and also, all the analysts are saying is that retailers need to be omni-channel. They need to offer in-store experiences as well as online experiences. But on the mobile, through SMS, through in-app messaging, so it's that an understanding and reacting to web browsing behaviors. So it's no longer just purchasing e-commerce. It's understanding the spectrum of technologies that enable you know your consumers' behavior, maybe give them relevant offerings, even when they're in store, at the point of sale, at the till, or by email or SMS, or if they're using it in the app. So it's that wider ecosystem of customer experience is our language for it, in knowing and understanding and being relevant to your consumers at the point that they're interested in purchasing.
From our episode 4 of It's All About the CX, myself and John were actually challenging potential customers to approach us and let us do that customer journey and customer mapping session. Actually go in and have a look at all the different channels that they could potentially purchase from, but actually kind of mapping it out. And as I think John spoke about it in a previous episode, it's the different swimming lanes, and trying to understand, okay, if they're mobile, why are they mobile?
Yeah.
If they're doing it at home in the evening time, different peak times and traffic. And is it a seasonal? Is it when they do a sale? It's to try to get the insight and understand it better for them.
And one thing I'll say as well is, like, if you were to look at demographics now, and we were to go, I'm looking for males between, let's say, 35 and north of that. So, like, just taking the room in context here, like, we're more or less in that range category, right? But, like, look at my runners, right? I will not wear the same shoes as these two gentlemen. Just show your shoes there for a second. Completely different. All three completely different. So we're getting a completely different message the whole time. And you should be able to get that granular.
Yeah.
And then
analysts actually talk about being able to market to the segment of one.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is
perfect. Segment to one. Let me write that down.
And really, that is actually a power of Oracle. Again, our consumer kind of communication, what we call cross-channel orchestration, is an engine. It's called Responses. It is a really, really powerful data model underneath that enables you what we call segment down to characteristics to make it more and more personalized, more and more granular, more and more relevant, and consequently more and more appealing to me. Not so mad about your shoes. I like mine though.
Yeah, I actually, do you know what, you've hit a really good point there. I think myself and John actually need to
buy new shoes.
quite possibly. But I was actually going to say, but hold on a second, John. Myself and Feargal look like we're going to work. We don't look like we're.
That's because I'm always on the run. I'm always moving. I'm always busy.
But we've broken out some and discussed in great detail a few case studies over the last couple of weeks. So I think doing a case study around responses and the power that platform has to go down into that individual, personalised and hyper-personalised message across the whole Omni stack. I think it's a really good one to do.
One thing, so I love to talk about, and we love to talk about in the podcast, is the controllables. What you can control within your business, because sometimes you just can't control the external factors. But we'd be remiss if we weren't to talk about the external factors that are coming down from the UK market at the moment. Yeah. So, in your opinion, Feargal, what are the external factors retailers are facing at the moment?
Yeah, we're sitting here and outside is blowing Storm Lorenzo. I couldn't cycle in this morning because of it. Now, that seems a little bit glib. Where am I going with that? But like, one thing that the analysts do say in terms of one of the trends in if you're involved in a global business with global supply chain is more and more exposed and vulnerable to external shocks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. External shocks can actually be major kind of weather events, disasters, geopolitical events such as Brexit. The thing with a shock is that it's unexpected.
Yeah.
So with something that's unexpected, and you ask me, if you were to say to me, what should retailers or consumer goods be thinking about in terms of Brexit? Like, none of us know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the unknown. When it happens, will it be a shock? No, because we're all a little bit fatigued with Brexit now. But in any of these external factors, no matter what they are, I think what's becoming more and more apparent is the businesses that succeed and thrive, and the businesses that are the businesses that are agile.
Yeah.
So what's agile? Agile is understanding context, taking in information, understanding that information, making a decision, and executing a decision quickly. So what does that mean in terms of technology? That framework is what cloud is all about. Cloud-based software is all about agility, easy to adopt, easy to run, easy to change, and basically it gives you your business a capability to react to change. And I think the biggest learning for me, as these external events become more and more relevant, more and more prevalent, is that the businesses that are running cloud as true cloud are the businesses that are more able to react to change and constantly thrive in that environment, in that changing environment.
You keep on coming up with these so relevant and amazing points. So one of our very first podcasts and a number of videos that John helped me kind of produce before we start doing the podcast properly, there was a resounding theme that we kept on going back to, which was about connecting data. So Oracle as a whole, we're all about data, and it's breaking down data silos, either globally or different geographical points, but it's connecting the data, connecting through connected intelligence to provide connected experiences. I think that's something that we keep on having to go back and talk about. We don't care where your data is, but we can connect to it and provide some intelligence around that through the different platforms, through the different toolings that we have. But we can definitely provide a connected experience for consumers.
And I'll just pick up on one thing you mentioned there, Feargal, about how businesses need to be agile. So what I want to make sure is that when a business wants to become agile, what they don't want to do, or what they want to do, is be successful in whatever they take on, whether it's a software or new technology. So how can they ensure that it's successful once there's an implementation period, or what are the red flags they should be looking for to make sure that's a smooth transition?
Okay, well, with any implementation project, a North Star is the why.
Okay.
And if you don't understand your why, it's a risk. You mentioned the customer journey mapping. You mentioned understanding what the ideal customer journey is across different channels, different times of day, different types of consumers. We do that, absolutely, but we do that in an environment that we continually would respectfully challenge and understand our customers as to the why. Okay, you're doing something successfully today, but you see that as a problem. Why? What's the outcome or the business benefit of fixing that issue?
Yeah.
So that understanding of the why, you bring that into your project team, and the why is always the North Star, and the goals for the project. Other critical thing in terms of project literature, even in a cloud-based environment, which is rapid and agile and easy to adopt, you still need cross-functional support, because as I mentioned, within, let's say, online e-commerce, it's no longer just a function of being able to add to a cart, click, pay. You need to be able to market to the person. There could be offers at a tail. If there's a click and collect, does the person know who you are, and are they trying to upsell at the moment they come in, because they know who you are and they know you like those runners. So what that means is that there's much more what we call stakeholders within a project. It's not just digital e-commerce, it's in-store experience, it's marketing, it's after-sales experience. You don't want to be marketing to a person when I'm having a serious problem returning a good. So that means you've got to have cross-functional support, and you have to have cross-functional support at an appropriate level within the business to be able to make decisions quickly. And then obviously, finally, if you understand your North Star, you have cross-functional support. technology vendor is really important, that they're going to be able to deliver everything and maybe even deliver the things that you haven't thought of. Again, which is where Oracle comes in with these 100 to 800 million businesses. We've got front office, back office solutions. We've got very, very powerful technical. These are all huge differentiators for us. We can solve supply chain, we can solve planning, we can solve budgeting, we can solve CX and marketing. So that breadth and power of being able to address all these business issues is again a critical differentiator for us. But the organization themselves, there is a business change. So what's the to be of the business unit? Who needs to be in it? What resources do they need to have access to? How do they need to be trained? And our technology partner, do we need them to assist us with any of those resources in a transition period while our business is changing the way it does business? And again, it's a key strength of Oracle. We've got the power of Oracle Consulting, where we can do your digital marketing campaigns, we can do your creative design, and basically we can heighten the likelihood that it's going to be a project success for our customers.
Yeah, and you've made another valid point there. Like the power of with Oracle Consultancy as well. Like we can train up companies, and they can shadow them to actually take ownership and own it for themselves, so that they're not relying on external third parties to manage or maintain it. And saying that, we've thousands of partners who work with us, and they do a brilliant job. But for a lot of companies, they might want to take this in-house and own it themselves. I also like the point, and myself and John are going to be chatting to some of the guys from the back office as well over the next few weeks, to actually kind of let you maybe understand, why somebody would look at an ERP, why are they changing it, and what impact does that have to the rest of the business? Because you're making changes towards the back end, but you've still got front of house applications that are serving customers. They're, it can have a huge knock-on effect, and I think we're starting to see a lot more projects with the back office and the front office together. So that there's.
So we talked earlier on about agile development of new products in consumer goods to meet new markets. So we have a recent project that is in implementation at the moment, where part of it was, what you call a back office solution, which is called Product Hub, which is basically a way to enable a customer. It does many things, but one of the things it does, enables a customer to do R&D on a product, realize a product, and enable it go into production to access markets quicker.
Yeah.
So we're combining that with an e-commerce solution. So we're solving two parts of the puzzle. They're intrinsically linked, and that's the power of Oracle.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that I think when we do get the guys from the back office in, I think we'll again dissect a case study that has that, and I think there's one around Ferrari. Yes, we don't get free one, unfortunately, but maybe we'll discuss them, because I think there was three different solutions between HR, ERP, and then also CX. So it could be a good one to have a chat about.
Excellent. So when it comes to adapting, what we want to look at is, we want the why, the North Star. We want get all the stakeholders in the room aligned, and then on-silo the business units. Is that correct? Anything else you'd add on that?
It's every context is different,
Right.
and every business is different. So, some businesses, there may be other levels of complexity. Is the data, what's the state of the existing data in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But typically, if you have the why of the project, you've got decision makers that are aligned, the project is well resourced, and your to be, if you've got tick, tick, tick in those boxes, the likelihood of project success with a very, very strong technology partner is significantly gone up.
And what I might ask as well, because the podcast is great because we can talk, but obviously we want to talk to our customers, and our customers want to talk to their customers, and also anybody interested in Oracle wants to have conversations. So perhaps we could talk about events that are coming up, or is there any events that you've been to recently?
Yeah, well, I'm going to Festival of Marketing next week. Looking forward to that.
Okay, where's that?
That's in London.
Okay.
It's called Tobacco Dock. But also, we have an Oracle MCX Modern Customer Experience coming up on the 20th of November. So I'm really looking forward to that. Typically, the thing I love about these events is you get access to Oracle, senior executives, product managers, what's happening within the product. It's usually exciting to see what's in terms of future developments, what's coming down the line. I think it's also fantastic to understand, to hear from customers how these are adopting these solutions today. You have your early majority, like as I say, online solutions are pretty much the standard, and so to understand how they're pushing themselves to improve their delivery to their customer. But you always have the early adopters there, so hearing those early adopter stories. Last year we heard about a cashless hotel resort, which I thought was cool. And you always get these really, really great stories. There's keynote speakers, external to Oracle, startups, analysts, big corporations, and how they're meeting the challenges of those trends in consumer goods and retail. It's always fascinating.
Yeah. So look, I would definitely look. It's 20th of November in the Hilton Bankside. Look again. We'll stick the link above in the post. You can message myself or John directly if you're interested in attending. Now, as Feargal said, they're starting to get some really good speakers involved, and if you click through on the link, you'll actually see the customers who are actually going to speak on the day. I think we discussed in the last podcast as well. There's going to be some really good breakout sessions,
which I love.
Particularly around one of the initiatives we're doing around our Eloqua marketing automation tool. I think it's a really good one to actually sit down, have a chat with the engineers. They can actually show you how easy it is to actually get a campaign up and running and managing it yourself.
Yeah.
So,
and as well as that, podcasts are like a whistle-stop tour. Like we've had Feargal here today. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
And he's touched on a lot of things. But like, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty about something, the events are great.
Yeah.
Because you can really just sit down, grab a coffee, let's have an honest conversation about whatever's on your mind.
Yeah. Or not, just listen to the speakers, take it all on board, and then take it back in-house into your company and think, okay, where can I make a change? And then reach out and have a conversation. So like it's do what you feel is best for you and your company. Well, look, Feargal, thank you very much for joining us today. I definitely would like to get you back maybe about 5 or 6 weeks' time.
My appearance fee goes up with every subsequent interview.
I'll just write down a figure here.
Yeah. Because I suppose, look, in November we're going to have Brexit, and it would just be, we have the MCX event coming up, and look, it would be just if there's any kind of thing that you're taking away from that to be able to share with our listeners. Also, as well, look, if you have a question you would like to ask Feargal, he is our retail guru here. Look, drop myself or John a line, and we'll definitely pass it on.
Thanks, lads.
So, thanks very much.
So thanks very much, guys.
Have a productive week.
Give me 1 second.
Find out the mic didn't work or something.
This is the first time I'm actually going to have to do some